You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
So welcome to another episode of Boss Hog of Liberty with Jeremiah Morrill and Dakota Davis. This is episode 5. We're still not canceled. At least we're still putting episodes in the can. Whether or not our syndicator still loves us or not is up to him to decide, I guess.
He might just be putting them, like, there's some kind of block on the server to where only you and I can actually see them.
That's true. He's not giving us any feedback as far as how many people are listening.
So, nobody knows.
This is probably just for us.
Yeah.
But we think we're big time.
It makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me something to do during the week.
In full disclosure, this episode is like, I feel like we're big time now. David Letterman used to do 2 shows on a Thursday. We're doing 2 shows on a Monday.
Yeah.
We're recording this immediately following episode 4. At the end of episode 4, if you listened, you heard my dog alarm go off, and Riley let us know that our guest for episode 5 had arrived. It's Mr. Tim McGuire. He's former chairman of the Marion County Libertarian Party, and one of two candidates for state chairman of the Libertarian Party of Indiana. Correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, we welcome Tim in, and then in the 4th chair today, the lovely Audrey Jo Peavy is still here. So she is probably the newest member in the history of the Libertarian Party. She's been 12, 13 hours. You've been a member now of the National Party?
No, I don't even think it's been that long.
No, it was like at 10 o'clock today.
Well, welcome.
So.
How seriously was Dakota? Did he make you swear on a Bible about the non-aggression principle?
No, I just got the email confirmation today, and I had no idea that he was doing it. So
oh boy,
I did it for
This feels
her.
like fraud now, Tim.
Yeah, I don't think that actually counts as joining the party if somebody else joins for you.
It doesn't mean you can vote twice, Dakota.
I thought it did.
Well, it only counts for voting twice if you somehow convince her to vote your way.
If you get her to show up. So there's something to show up for here in a couple weeks, Tim. I guess as this episode's going to come out, it'll be this Saturday coming up. May 6th.
May 6th is the day of the actual election is going to happen on May 6th.
So if you're not a member of the Libertarian Party, I know in the past there's been some grace. So if you're listening, we encourage you to go ahead and jump on real quick today, join the party, show up, and we'll see what we can do to try to work you in. But we do encourage people to come down and enjoy the festivities of a convention. So let's kind of just do an introductory. We'll walk into this gracefully, I guess, in trying to recruit people to come to the convention. I bought my tickets back in January, so I'm committed. I'm coming, Tim.
Okay, good.
And I'm excited about it. I don't know if my co-host or his bride-to-be have made the commitments to actually make the trip down there.
I bought them today.
You're both going?
We're both going.
Really?
Yep.
Now, do you guys have hotels yet?
Yes, we got the hotel.
Okay,
we
good,
got the hotel.
good.
I got the hotel in February.
Oh, okay.
Because
Dakota saw a casino and he said, "Yes, I'm going."
Jeremiah was like, "Hurry, the hotel's selling out real quick." And I was like, "Oh my god." It's not sold out yet.
I think we did fill up the block of rooms.
I think the hotel block does fill usually pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're having this thing in the southwestern part of the state, so if you're from central Indiana or northern Indiana, there's no driving option. You might catch a flight in the morning and catch a flight back home, but otherwise you have to stay in a hotel or an Airbnb or something.
Right.
It's a little bit of a cruise.
No,
So.
It was, the hotel was pretty reasonably priced, I feel. You look at the pictures online, it looks like a really nice hotel.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I've not been down there myself. It'll be my first time in the casino down there, but I'm excited. I'm really excited about the convention. Paul Charchian, I was a big Steve Zabin fan when he had his national radio show. You guys may not know who Steve Zabin is, but he had Yahoo Sports and Fox Sports Radio. And Paul Charchian would come on all the time and do fantasy sports updates once a week or whatever.
Yeah, you mentioned Airbnb. It just kind of caught my ear because I just read an article today in the New Reason magazine. See, I do read that magazine, Audrey. And
He doesn't just get it for the pictures. He really reads it.
Super interesting. I didn't realize how states were trying to regulate that. Like,
well, yeah, because it's cutting into the hotel business.
Yeah,
or it's skirting the.
I'd
the
never seen
regulatory
anything about
system
that
to some
before.
degree.
We live in a world of protectionism, Dakota. It's not.
There were in a state where it is not legal, a $7,500 fine in New York. There were 55,000 Airbnbs listed just in New York City. I mean, that's amazing to me. That is peak capitalism.
They
awesome.
outlaw Airbnbs in New York State?
It is, yeah. If it is a non-regulated facility to where you rent out your home or someone else's home or an apartment, even if you are the landlord of a vacant apartment, you cannot rent it out for just a few days. Like there has to be a lease signed. Otherwise, you will be facing a fine of $7,500.
They just passed that now, or is it's been in place?
That was passed in 2016.
Okay, all right, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
hey, the hotel lobby, man, they're powerful.
So how was you stayed in an Airbnb, right?
I did, yeah.
California? How was that?
I went to LA and I had a great time. It was cheap. It was about half the price of a hotel. I stayed in Hollywood, Los Feliz, actually. And we had a full. It was a studio apartment basically for half the price of a hotel. Had a parking space, and it was exactly where I needed to stay. It worked out great for me. So
that's awesome.
They can stay out of my business. If a guy wants to rent his place for 3 or 4 days to me, and it's half the price of a hotel.
Yeah, there's Airbnb, and then I think the next big one is HomeAway.
HomeAway.
Yep.
And the weird thing is about this kind of stuff, it's like, it's perfectly legal for me to just let a friend stay at my house. No one's stopping me from doing that.
Right. Now, but now that you're trading a couple of dollars, all of a sudden they get to get involved.
Yeah. And, if I ask him to leave a 20 on the nightstand before he leaves, all of a sudden, no, crap. No, that's illegal.
Wow. Yeah. Well, however you make it to the convention, we hope we fill the place up. I know it's an off year. But we do really some important business, and electing the chairman is it's something we do every 2 years in Indiana with the Libertarian Party. So Joe Hauptman has been serving as the chairman of the state party. I think this is his third or fourth different cycle. He's kind of been the chairman a number of different times.
Oh yeah. I think he's one of the oldest past chairmans that's actually still involved.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so Joe is not seeking another term. We've worn him out, and he's calling it good for a while. So. We have two candidates. Tim is with us today, and Jesse was with us a couple weeks ago, and kind of trying to do what we can with this platform to promote the party. All of us are now that Audrey's on board, we're all big L libertarians of various time in the party. But we're definitely trying to encourage people to join the LP and get involved and work from the inside. You can have libertarian views. But the way that I've always looked at it, and I think Tim would probably agree, as libertarians, running elections and winning races is what this is about, and that's the approach I've taken to libertarianism. It's not an educational thing as much as it is trying to actually run candidates and win races.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
So, Tim, whenever you heard that Joe was not going to be running for chairman anymore, was it an automatic thing? You knew you wanted to run for the chair, or how did you come to that conclusion?
So, that's a great question. No, not necessarily. I mean, obviously, I know what goes. I've been around the party for a while. I know what goes into being chairman, and I was not exactly chomping at the bit to take on that much work and responsibility. So it was a gradual process. A number of people throughout the state, libertarians, kind of started talking to me, asking me if I would consider taking the reins, and I think my first reaction was laughing at them. But as time went on, I had more and more conversations, thought about it, spoke with my wife about it, and really gave it some honest thought. I said, we've got a lot of activity going on. It sounds like you guys got great things going on here in Henry County. Lots of counties are like this. We've got a real opportunity here to do something. I kind of feel like I would be the person that can maybe take us to the next level.
Very good. So tell us about the process of running for chair. I think people have a better idea of what it's like to run for office, or to try to, if you're seeking the nomination for governor or senator, you kind of make a tour around the state and you go around and introduce yourself to libertarians, and you have a campaign to get nominated. What's it like if you're running for chairman or vice chairman of the Libertarian Party?
So it's not that different than trying to get nominated, honestly. So, I mean, the first thing I did was I just kind of, I went to my home county's meeting where they were having officer elections that night because it was in January, and that's how Marion County does things. And I just, that was when I made the official announcement. I had told some close friends and family about it before then. And from there, I just kind of started sending out emails and letting people know. And then these past 2 months, I've been doing a lot of traveling, putting a lot of miles on my car, driving up to Lake County, driving all the way down to Evansville, driving out to District 6 to see all you wonderful people. And just, telling people what my plan is and giving them a chance to meet me and ask me questions and look me in the eye and see if I'm serious. And it's been a great experience. We've got a lot of great stuff going on around all the corners of the state.
Well, very good. So as you've gone around and you've talked to people, have you heard new ideas from folks, different ideas people have had for you to bring back to the state party, and different improvement ideas from individuals, or are they mostly in a listening mode and kind of taking the temperature of you? What have you gathered?
Yeah, I think most people are kind of in a listening mode right now. I think we're in a place now as a party where we could go so many different directions. I think a lot of people don't know what to do or not sure what the next thing to do. I know that there's real excitement about running more candidates and running better campaigns, kind of the same stuff that Jeremiah, you and I talk about all the time. But nothing specific that we haven't talked about before. There's just a lot more excitement to try to do the things running local. The one thing I will say that I've been very encouraged in is I've been very vocal about not being excited about the top of the ticket races. I'm really excited about the bottom of the ticket races. I think that's where we can have the most success. And the reaction to that has not been argument. It's
Right.
a lot of nodding heads, and people seem to get that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. My barber, and also Jeremiah's barber, is Clay Morgan. He's going to be on the show. He's going to be our next guest on the show, hopefully.
That's our intention. Clay is a county councilman here in Henry County,
yeah,
a Republican.
He is a Republican, but he's one of the good guys.
Okay.
And,
that's what we say about all of our guests.
I was talking to him a while back about winning elections here in Henry County. We were talking about Jesse Riddle's race for a council seat, and he's telling me, if Jesse could have would have done more, I think you probably would have gotten elected. I was like, you're probably right. I don't know. I've not been doing this for a very long time. He was like, so how much money did your state party give Jesse to run?
0, right?
Yeah, and I was like,
I think Jesse ran about a $75 campaign and finished 4th, but it was a top pick 3. So if he had picked up a couple hundred more votes, he would have been, he'd have a vote at the county council meetings right now.
So I totally agree with that, and obviously, a Republican councilman agrees with that. So people that are winning elections see the flaw. So I think it's very obvious of what needs changed.
Well, and putting in my 2 cents, I guess this will be an opinion piece for me, even though I'm trying to play host today and do an interview. More than. And I guess this is coming from a volunteer, a campaign volunteer and campaign manager side. More than money from the state party, what you want is you just want the resources. You want the encouragement and somebody in Tim's position to say, hey, on this Saturday, we think the best chance we have to win a race is to go win a county council race over in Newcastle. So let's load up the cars and let's try to get a dozen people to show up and go door knock. They've got the materials, and we'll go to door to door and try to put out signs and talk to people and whip the votes up. Right. And on election day, pack the cars up, and that's the chance we have we think we can win. Yeah,
the first Saturday that I went out campaigning, Jeremiah had texted me. He'd been texting me for a while, but it's the middle of the summer. We have a place down on Brookville Lake. I was like, I'm gonna go spend my weekend camping. Well, got to one weekend, I was like, sure, I'll go out for Rex Bell's campaign. But so I'm expecting, I'm expecting like 30, 40 people. We got out there, and there's like 8
of us maybe. By the time everybody showed up, 8 to 10, yeah.
Probably 8, yeah. it just kind of blew my mind there for a minute. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is...
It's for the
Wow.
hardcores.
Yeah, and because we run good candidates. You know, Jesse, I'm sure, was a good candidate, but we don't do a good job of throwing good volunteers behind him. And I'm sure it's the same thing in Henry County. I've seen it in Marion County countless times. We ask people to run, and they win the nomination, and it's like, okay, do a good job.
Yeah.
Maybe think about getting a campaign manager. We need to do a little bit more from behind the scenes of helping the candidates build a campaign team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more than just saying, hey, yeah. I mean, right now, honestly, when we recruit a candidate, we say, hey, you're going to get ballot access, and right now it's your responsibility to go out and find the volunteers. Not that we don't want to help you, and we're going to try to help you at every state we can, or every step of the way that we can. But there's not a bunch of money coming your way, and it's not, I try to be very realistic with people on the front end so that they don't have their dreams crushed on the back end when
Right.
it's over.
Now,
But it's something we need to work on for sure.
I do hope to change the fundraising part of it, or the.
I'm being phoned.
I do hope to change the money part of it a little bit because I am a believer that you can run a campaign without much money, but it's really hard, and we do have to fix the lack of fundraising that we've seen
Yeah.
in this party, and nobody likes fundraising, but we're going to have to do it. And I do see my job as chair. I'm going to have to be the chief fundraiser and the chief cheerleader of encouraging everybody else to help me fundraise as well.
It's inside baseball, but it's no secret inside the Libertarian Party that of Indiana that our fundraising has definitely slipped over where we were 4 to 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh yeah,
where we had full-time staff, and now we're in. It's part of the apathy of leadership. Part of it is membership apathy. Some of it's been a limitation of need, where we haven't had staff, where we haven't had the threat of not having somebody around. There have been a number of factors, but the reality is that we're only bringing in hundreds of dollars a month instead of thousands of dollars a month, which is where we used to be.
Yeah, and all things like that it takes somebody focusing on it.
Yep.
And that's going to have to be my job day one, is because none of this other stuff works without the money to
Yep.
help it. Because I would like to see some full-time staff. I would like to see us being able to drop some money into a campaign if we see something magic happening. So,
Yep. There's no doubt that politics run on money, but they also run on people. So you have to have both of those working, and the way that you recruit and you get the basic systems in place for everybody it takes dollars to do it. So I'm personally going to be helpful in any way I can to whoever the chairman is, but we've got some opportunities for improvement. This is the year 2017 is a rebuilding year. We don't have any elections at the state level, county level. I don't think any towns have elections. This is a total
Nope.
dead year to my knowledge.
unless there's a public question that comes up that somebody they want to do this year, no, there's absolutely no elections in Indiana this year. So we've got the good and bad news is we've got plenty of time. We can't waste a minute.
So,
Right.
Another thing when you're the chairman of the state party is you have a unique platform to speak from. Tell us from the media side what you've been able to do, the attention that you think you can create, and how you would use that platform, I guess, as the state chairman of the Libertarian Party. Tell us about that soapbox.
Yeah, no. So obviously, as chairman, I would be the chief media contact. Obviously, we're gonna. In a perfect world, I want a whole PR team, but I'm still going to have to be the one that goes out there and do it. And people have asked me about this before, and I just kind of point back to my record as Marion County chairman. I dare say kind of revamped the entire media look of the party back when I became county chair, and I actually took the time to reach out to all the big media people, all the reporters and TV anchors, and kind of made myself slightly annoying to some of them. Made sure that they knew who I was and how to get a hold of me, and that I was respectful of the fact that this is their job, and I'm going to try to do whatever I can to make their job easier, and by giving them stories as much as I can, and that I wasn't expecting any special handouts. I've already been able to get onto Abdul's show just by throwing my name in the race. Some of you guys may or may not know who Abdul is. He's a major radio personality in Indianapolis. Maintained a great relationship with him over the years, and he invited me onto the show to talk about the chairs race. But a lot of it is just being proactive. We've got to, if we know a story is coming, like we know that, I'm sure it wasn't a surprise to anybody that last week that the General Assembly just kind of voted in the last couple things that they've been arguing about. They ended their session. There's granted we're kind of in a transition year right now, but there's no reason why we shouldn't have had some press releases ready to go at midnight, that night that kind of talked about our stance on that, and maybe and followed up with some conversations with reporters.
Yeah, it's your opportunity to get free earned media when something's in the news. That's the time to get your word in edgewise with them, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And that's once again, it's a reality of where we're at, and unfortunately some of the realities of having limited folks and planning a convention and the focus of the folks that are there. That's I guess I'm playing the defense role. I'd be a good defense attorney, Dakota. I could defend anybody.
I think so. Like,
I'm slippery.
You were taking that political quiz, and you're like, well, I could argue both sides. So I'm like, argue both sides? What are you talking about here, Jer? And you're just like, I'm going to put neutral. I'm going to put neutral.
Well, there are some issues you just don't want to debate. You just don't want to get into it. But going back to the opportunities we had to weigh in on some of the General Assembly stuff. Of course, there are issues as well that you could try to weigh in with the libertarian opinion, and you may not cover every libertarian. I'm the libertarian in the road industry who's thinking that the road taxes that Indiana passed are actually kind of user fees, but I know I'm in the minority in our party on that one.
Well, no, I mean, and when Abdul asked me about it, that was kind of my answer as well. Is like, well, philosophically, we do like usage fees, and that's the way that we should be doing it. I haven't really dug into that, the nuts and bolts of that detail of that bill enough to know if it's like a good bill or a bad bill. But I know that, I'm okay with you raising the gas tax as long as you're cutting government somewhere else as well, because as we all know, there's a lot of the gas tax that they currently take in that we're spending in other places.
Right.
Maybe we should fix that first.
I think that's been everybody that is against the gas tax. I think that's everybody's point. Like, okay, if you really need this, that's fine, but do you really need it? Like, that's the whole question. Is it actually needed? Or can we get the money that we're wasting somewhere and put it towards the roads?
And the inside the baseball side of it, I guess, is what the General Assembly did, is they said by 2025, because they can't deal with anything immediately, apparently. They gradually phased in Rex Bell's proposal. All of the money we collect on roads is going to go to the roads by 2025, and it's going to graduate over the period of time.
So there we go. Everybody that says libertarians don't win. We won a little bit. We do win some. We have influence. So stop being so scared and actually vote for us.
What they didn't do, however, is they didn't promise to cut anything on the other side. They're basically going to grow their way through it, which is a Republican answer. That's right. That's pretty true to their true to their side. They didn't cut anything. They said they're going to grow their way to that number. I'm convinced that, as a guy that that does road construction, and that's my livelihood. I am convinced that they do need to. They need to invest more money to maintain what we have, and to keep up with the updating. We have 2-lane highways in Indiana that should have been 3-lane highways 15 years ago.
And you being in this industry, I'd be interested in your take on this. I've always thought that, when we are building the roads, let's use some better materials and let's do some better workmanship so that it lasts longer and we don't have to spend as much money on maintenance. I don't know if you found that to be true.
So what Indiana does when they do a major paving project, they will actually do a comparison, and they will have I don't want to be the guy that defends the government on this podcast too much, but as somebody that actually lives in it on a day-to-day basis, they will look at a road and decide, okay, they'll take a proposal and say, okay, if it's going to cost $5 million to do the road out of concrete, or it's going to cost $3 million to do it out of asphalt, there's a $2 million savings. but what's the future maintenance cost to that?
Right.
And they actually have a number that they'll
That's
plug
great.
in.
Yeah, it's just
and
like
they'll-
on the county level, it costs $60,000 per mile to pave a road with asphalt. Am I correct on that?
I think it's $80,000 a mile. To pave
And then $15,000 to chip and seal an already paved road.
somewhere in that range, yeah. Yeah, so you can do 10 lane miles instead of... Somebody's buzzing. Dakota's getting a call now. My sister called earlier. Now Dakota's... Is that the vet calling?
No, that was my mom. She's probably wondering about.
She's worried
Doctor.
about the dog. Tell her to listen to episode 4 and she'll hate me forever.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of look at this entire issue like a financial advisor. I look at it as like, the roads, and there's going to be some libertarians that crucify me for this, but the roads that's one of the things that the government is actually supposed to be doing. That is quote unquote that's what I'm paying my taxes for, right? So you start with the necessity, you start with public safety, you start with public works, and then if there's money left over, then you can splurge it, maybe, on sports stadiums and all that.
Stadiums,
cricket fields, and hiring more staff for the whatever office or things like that.
But
So-
so a great press release. So and this is me playing armchair quarterback here, as just a lowly. I guess I have no title right now in the Libertarian Party. Actually, I'm the host of Boss Hog of Liberty,
Yeah.
but I have
I mean, that is your
no
official
current
title.
responsibilities at the moment.
We'll just call you boss.
Yeah, call me the boss. Sure. Yeah,
He's the puppet
because I'm
master.
Bruce Springsteen, or whatever. I don't even know who played Boss Hog. I know the character, but I don't know his name.
I don't either.
I know that the man is a genius. Like, he has 3 degrees and can speak languages and plays, I don't know, some kind of instrument, but I have no idea what his name is.
Sorrel Brook.
Brook.
He's gone, of course. He's been dead since 1994. Good God, he's been
Man,
dead
that was 2 years before I was born.
Dakota's entire life. Oh, do you feel old after that when that one happens? That stings me.
Yeah, I do feel a little old. Yeah, I just hit the big 4-0 earlier this year, so I don't need any.
My dad's
reasons not to-
45.
All right. Well, thanks for inviting me onto this podcast with children.
It does it to me too. I'm 33, and I think almost every episode. I think this is like the question we ask our guests: what were you doing on 9/11? And Dakota's like, I was in preschool. Audrey has no memory, or Audrey and Dakota have no memories whatsoever. I was at the job. I was where I work now.
Okay. I was at my first job.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I have had our your first job was the same time as mine. Did you spend 10 years in college or so, Tim?
No, 5 years. I was a music major back in college, so you can't get out of there in less than 5 years.
A music major. Does that qualify you to be the state chairman of the Libertarian Party of Indiana?
Well, I was a music business major, and I obviously do not work in the music industry.
You're supposed to be
anymore.
managing Led Zeppelin at this point, and instead you're in my
Yeah.
guest room doing a podcast.
Strangely enough, like when you're picking career paths, as you're going through that program, for some reason everyone wanted to get into record labels and artist management, and I'm just a contrarian, obviously. So I just didn't want to do that, and I decided to go into more like the nonprofit sector, which surprise, surprise, there's no money in. So, so needless to say, I do not work in that industry.
So
right
currently, you're financial services, I guess, financial advising.
Yeah,
is your
financial
gig?
professional. And actually, part of the reason I do it is because my libertarianism. I fell in love with the idea of helping average and ordinary middle class Americans take control of their own financial destiny, plan for retirement, and not be reliant on the government for their future.
You're the canary in the coal mine, sounding the alert about Social Security and how it's your responsibility to have your own 401k and your own Roth.
And you know what's surprising? I guess it shouldn't be surprising, but most of the professionals in the industry kind of tell you, they look at people our age and they say, "Yeah, don't count on that. You gotta start putting money away for yourself."
Right.
I feel like a public service announcement now, since we have people that are 20-something, early 20-somethings in here. Definitely be in your
I got it all
401k
taken care of
right
right now.
Get in that 401k. Don't just count on your company pension, because he's the one guy in the world that has a pension. I think.
I don't have a pension.
He's a
No,
union. He's a union libertarian.
Oh.
He's like Russell Brooksbank over here.
I'm a BA member. I'm not an A member.
Is that a badass member?
That's right. It's the lowly member. Like I don't have a pension or the health care provided by the union. Like I strictly just get represented by a union representative if I feel like the company wrongs me. That is all I get from the union. And, when does that happen?
Well, I'm sure you never get in any trouble.
So, I mean, I don't have a pension or anything. I mean, I have a 401k and a Roth IRA, but hopefully that's good enough, and a health savings account.
At 21, keep
yeah.
pouring money in there, and you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Well, maybe who knows how much inflation goes up by that point.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. If you just keep throwing money at that, you'd be surprised how even as little as $100 a month will go.
Absolutely. Yeah, 10 or 12% growth, Dakota, and if inflation's at 3 or 4, you're going to have a spread that's going to have you. It'll look like a hockey stick when you're 65.
I'm just counting on Audrey whenever she becomes a doctor.
Is that official, Audrey? Are you going to be outsmarter than all of us and be Dr. Audrey? Really? Well,
Doctor.
the whole world knows this now.
Who would have thought
The whole world.
That you would snag a doctor.
Who would have thought that doctor would be in front of my last name?
Yeah. That's so
Not me.
That's great.
That's so messed up.
Mr. How does that work? Is that Mr. and Dr. P and Dr. Dakota Davis? I don't know how.
That's right. Yeah.
How are you going to have her barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and going to the ER or doing whatever she's supposed to do?
She's gonna be delivering babies. I mean, come on. She's just delivering babies. It's not like they're the future of the world or anything.
I'm more concerned the fact that you say she just joined the party, but apparently you haven't been doing enough education with her about the sorry state of affairs in the healthcare industry for that she's actually still considering going into this industry.
I said, you need to get in part of a giant corporation hospital like IU Health.
Amen.
Do not become a private practice or anything. And I was like, oh, we were talking about how we're going to pay for medical school, right? So she's like, well, it's going to be about $30,000 a year for 4 years, and I'll make $56,000 during 3 years of residency. I'm like, well, guess what? You're not going to see any of that $56,000 a year because it's going to be paying off medical school. Because by the time somebody like Bernie Sanders becomes president, you'll be making the money that a public school teacher makes. And I'm not dealing with that.
Wow. Did you? This is. I grew up around animals, so that's my preface for this. So I immediately go with the goats and the birthing stuff. So I'm thinking if you're going to be an obstetrician, or is that the right term?
Yeah,
obstetrician.
Yeah.
See, I'm smarter than I
There
look.
you go.
I was thinking of the giraffe deal. I was like, Audrey had to be tuned into the giraffe, watching and waiting.
I tried, and then I missed it, and it was...
Did you go back and watch it?
No, I didn't go back and watch it. I just, took my loss and moved on.
Moved on. I don't know. All right, well, poor Tim. We've gone down the road of
Birthing giraffes.
Of this is your career and birthing giraffes.
Yeah. Back to your candidacy.
Yeah.
You came here for the District 6 convention, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a great. Can I just say that was a great idea? Like I've been singing your guys' praises all around the state as I visit. I think we need to do more regional things like that, and I was very, very happy to see that went very successprosuccessfully.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. It was a fun day. It was a full day. We had reports from each individual county convention, and we had a speaker who I promised Sean Rao, or the fellow that spoke at that. He's a local defense attorney. He's an attorney of all areas, but he's focused on his public defense work in his speech and the process of being a juror. Those comments are going to be in this feed, so probably a special bonus episode. You'll hear from Tim and Jesse in their forum that they had while we were at that convention.
Yeah.
And Sean spoke at that as well. But yeah, it was a great event. I was happy with the turnout. We sold, I think we sold it out. We met our number. We made a little bit of money for the party. At least covered our costs, and it was fun. It's a nice room. You show up at an event, and you actually have a public address system and a private room, and
yeah, it was perfect.
It worked out nicely.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the kind words.
So when you were there,
Yeah.
there's one thing that I noticed. You got drilled with questions. I mean, so many questions.
Yeah,
Was like you said that you'd been going around the state and making appearances, answering questions. was like everywhere like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah. I mean, because libertarians take this seriously, and
Right.
and I'm glad for that, obviously. So yeah, no, I was actually completely expecting that. A lot of people, in it, I've put out some detailed plans of what I want to do. Not everyone wants to take the time to read through everything and digest it for themselves. So the easiest thing to do is whatever their hot button issue is, then they can ask me questions about it, which is great because one, I find out what the hot button issues are, but two, if there's an issue where I can tell there's a little bit of disagreement between my vision and what the people asking me about it are, it gives me a chance to kind of tell my side of the story, and maybe we can come to a common understanding, and and
talk about your experiences and why you think that way.
why I think that way, and
Right.
maybe I can change their mind, or sometimes they change my mind.
Yeah. Okay. That was the question I was.
That's your big host.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
your big
Yeah.
co-host.
I was like-
That's what you got.
I was just itching. Like, I wonder if everybody asked him as many questions as what we did.
You wonder if everybody's autistic as you are.
Yeah, because we just kept.
What was your
going.
question? Did you ask me a question?
I didn't
don't
ask
remember.
you a question.
You didn't ask any questions? No. But yeah, no, I mean, it's great. And obviously, if you guys haven't had a chance to read through the plan I've put out, but I mean, the biggest thing that I want to create a culture of where we're focused on winning local elections. I want to create a culture of fundraising, and I want to create a culture of getting all the counties to work together and getting, much like what I saw out in District 6, and getting the state and the counties to work together. I really wish that we would stop acting like we're two separate parties and just remember that we're all on the same team. We need to be working together because what makes one person successful will help everybody.
Well, very good, Tim. I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with us. As far as convention, I guess I'll give my last plug here. If you haven't signed up or bought your package yet, I assume that they'll be selling them. I know in fact they'll sell tickets at the door, but you can jump on at lpin.org and click on the convention page. Lots and lots of good speakers to go see. Arvin Vora is the national vice chairman. He's going to be there. If people haven't had a chance to meet him, I had a chance to meet him when he was elected vice chair in Columbus at the one national convention I've been to. I guess it was 2014.
Yeah, that was 6 years ago or 3
Three years ago. Don't age us anymore.
Yeah.
Dakota would have been in junior high at that convention 6 years ago. We've got a state senator coming. A state senator from Nebraska is going to come speak to us, Laura Ebke. We're going to have a non-traditional media person speaking to us named Gretchen Irons. She's from Evansville, so Channel 44 insider. All right, local
that.
TV talent.
That's
Big time.
great, yeah.
We got a former presidential candidate, Kevin McCormick, will be there, a 2016 candidate. We've got our 94 Society breakfast. If you're not a member of the 94 Society, Dakota, make sure you join it so you can get to eat breakfast with us, $10 a month.
And I highly encourage everyone to join the 1994 Society
I'm
because
pledging
we need that
15
money.
a month
You're doing okay. Well,
to the National Party.
well, that's
Does
okay.
this have to
Yeah.
go towards the state?
So what I would ask you to do is at least match what you're doing with the National Party and help the state out because we really need your funds.
See, I thought that it automatically went to the state whenever you renewed your membership because I just renewed my membership Friday for
national.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And-
what I do is I'm a national member at $25 a year, and the basic, and that gets me the newsletter and it gets me national standing for whatever's going on, and they do a good job with the database. So I'm a national member, and I think I'm $10 or $20 a month depending upon what's going on. But $20 a month to the LPIN, which gets me access to the 1994 Society breakfast for 94 Society members, and their speaker at that this time will be Nick Tabor, who's a city councilman in Cedar Falls, Iowa, as a libertarian. So that's the hook. So $10 a month, and you get some free eggs, man.
Oh man, is it too late to join?
No,
I really want
It's
to.
never too late.
It's never too late
Love
to join.
breakfast. I mean, like,
All
is
of the
it too
bacon and
late
eggs you
if I
have.
sign up now? Am I not going to be able to do the breakfast?
I think you'd be okay.
I'm
gonna
willing to
go out
bet that on Saturday they'll probably be taking donations on Saturday for people who want to go to the breakfast on Sunday.
Absolutely. And couples are only $20 a month for the two of you, so it's a pretty sweet
Oh,
deal.
man, that is a great deal.
I'm a salesman.
You are.
You got to be a salesman.
Natural.
You got to jump in and be one. So that's the hookup on the LP convention. The Friday night of the convention, there's a debate, I hear.
Yeah, so Jesse and I will be debating each other on Friday night. So if you haven't heard me expound enough on this podcast or haven't heard me yet, please show up on Friday night, and Jesse and I will be going mano a mano.
They're going to be, you guys going to have like lightsabers or anything? Or
Well, you see,
Some sort of a duel?
I would be
good
afraid
God,
that
I
I would
hope so.
probably lose that any kind of physical challenge to Jesse. So
ginger
I-
on ginger crime.
Yeah, so no, it will be a war of words, which I kid because I do like Jesse and I'm glad that he's running.
So honestly, it's better. We should always have contested races.
Absolutely,
We should never have a situation where we have one guy running for chairman, whether it was Jesse or you or James Neese running for chair. There should always be somebody there helping to make the other one better.
And
it's better for the process.
And even if and I'll take the race that you helped out on with Rex Bell. Like Rex Bell ended up winning, and I was on Rex Bell's team. Nothing against Jim Wallace for running, but I think the actual competition itself for the nomination made Rex a better candidate, and I think it does show the health of the party when we can get more than one person running for a spot. We're gonna have to start thinking about how we do nominations at future conventions once we got more and more people trying to get the same nomination. But I think it's a very healthy thing.
You don't want to do multiple paper ballots for 1,000 delegates.
I'm just saying we need to rethink it. That's all I'm saying.
So, I guess my final question is, what on the days of the convention? What is the dress code? Like, I mean, I just don't know what to wear.
Most people
I'm looking at
wear a top hat and tails.
really.
Most of the time.
What if we have neither of those?
Well,
things?
you've got 2 weeks to get down to the goodies and get yourself something.
I mean, I keep seeing pictures that, like online. Like Tanner shared that picture of him and Rex from last year's convention, and like they're both wearing suits, and I'm like,
You're actually
Do I have
going to
to wear a
see a
suit?
wide range of dress. You're going to see some people wearing suits and dresses, and then you're going to see some people in jeans and a t-shirt.
Absolutely. I typically I've gotten older. I've always worn a shirt and a tie. I will probably wear my jacket again. But if things get heated, I'm taking it off. I'm not afraid. If it's hot in there, I'm taking that jacket off. I'll wear long sleeve shirts because I'm not an animal. But
The one lasting legacy that Obama gave us that I actually cherish is that he made it okay for us to wear the button-up shirt with the jacket and no tie, and that's perfectly acceptable even for candidates. So I'm very thankful for him for that.
you'll go with it. And jeans. If you want to wear a nice pair of jeans with the jacket, that's okay
They have
too.
to be a nice pair of jeans. None of the acid wash stuff that might have been
Acid
before
wash.
before
They got
Dakota's time.
holes in them, and
Just a nice pair of Wranglers is fine. As long as they're dark blue and they
Wranglers?
haven't been washed a couple of times, you get yourself some patch pants, you'll be okay.
all right.
You
I
could
can
do
do
that. If you wear Wranglers and a nice shirt, you'll be fine. I wouldn't wear whatever the hell that paisley thing is you're wearing today. What?
Oh, this is a good shirt. What are you talking about?
Dude, I got compliments on this in Chicago. Like the valet guy that parked the car was like,
The guy that wanted you to tip him?
yeah, he was like, hey,
He liked your
man,
shirt,
I really
huh?
like your shirt. And I was like, thanks, dude. That makes me feel really good.
Of course. And then he held his hand out. And he wanted money.
No, this is before he parked the car. So I mean,
Tim, help him.
Yeah, this is what's called sales. Yeah, it's customer service industry. He has to make you feel good, and it's honestly one of the things I want to bring to the party. We got to be better salesmen, and we got to.
he could probably tell
be
that
better
I
at that
didn't
kind of
feel
stuff.
good, like because I was super uncomfortable. I've never had done a valet parking before.
Did you drive your new truck up there? Did you have a valet park your lifted 1991 Chevy?
No, it was the old. It was the Chevy Sonic, just a little car to buzz in and out of Chicago traffic, and
That's honestly
it was the
probably
first
perfect
time.
car
And
up
like,
there.
he's like, this is valet. I was like, this what now? He said, valet. I parked the car, and I was like, Oh.
Now, Dakota, you might be a little young for this. Are you familiar with the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably what happened to your car.
I'm sure that it's not a Ferrari, but I'm sure they like to cruise Chicago in a
In
a Chevy Sonic,
emblazoned with libertarian stickers on the back.
So that's Tim's old stomping grounds of Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, that is where I hail from, Joliet, Illinois.
See, they
Which is a Blues Brother reference. Joliet Jake up there, the Joliet State Prison.
Surprisingly enough, I never saw that movie until I got to college.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, I will be returning to the People's Republic of Illinois actually this weekend to see some of my old family. But
they're still family.
Yeah,
Current family.
yeah. See some family, and and then I'll be returning to the state as quickly as I can.
Well, very fair. Very fair.
Yeah, they
So you
actually, I got back home and I had a request. It was the Libertarian Party of Chicago has invited you to like their page. I was like,
That's creepy.
they've been watching me.
Welcome to Facebook, where they'll sell everything about you.
You probably liked something, in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, I checked into the Exchequer, which is a pizza place up there.
You didn't
I'm
go
sure
to
that's
Giordano's?
how they did it.
You went to a different Chicago place. Of course, we have Giordano's here now.
Yeah, Giordano's. That's pretty corporate. You got to find a nice mom and pop shop. Trust me, I know my Chicago pizza. You got to find a nice little mom and pop place that makes it just the way just the way you like it, and no seating. You just kind of come in, and the place is like a hole in the wall. Those are the best.
Yeah,
places.
that's how this place was. It was amazing. I go in there and I ordered an old style beer because if anybody in here has seen Shameless, the TV show, that's the kind of beer that Frank always drinks. And I was okay,
that's the beer That's the only beer I can drink when I'm in Wrigley Field, but I can't drink it outside of Wrigley Field. I just can't do it.
So I got one of those, and then they brought our pizza out, and it was like the most intense experience I've ever had in my life. Like,
it was a real Chicago deep dish pizza, right?
Oh yeah,
It was
I'm scooping out this pizza, and like the handle of the metal spatula is like bending because they just leave the whole thing there, spatula and everything. And
Was it just the two of you?
yeah,
Did you get just the small, or did you be like, no,
Oh, no.
I need a large pizza?
We got the medium.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
went
How
medium.
many days were you eating that?
Animals.
yeah.
Are you still backed up? That much cheese in your system?
I think I ate 2 pieces. Like I ate 2 pieces, and it's like smaller than Papa John's sized slices, and it was like,
But they're like 3 inches thick.
oh yeah, it was like, oh my god, I need to walk.
Yeah. Now, Giordano's is a close approximation of good Chicago food. If any of you guys haven't gotten a chance to check it out, please do.
How about Al's Beef? Did you get Al's Beef?
I've never heard of Al's Beef.
I hadn't either until a few months ago, and Brad
See,
Lowry.
I'm a Portillo's guy.
Yeah.
I like Portillo's. That's
When you go in, Mike Ditka is the official poster spokesman in there. Still, Mike Ditka hasn't coached in Chicago in your lifetime, but he's
Mike
Ditka. Ditka.
Yep.
So yeah.
How old is that guy now?
Mike Ditka, he's probably 80, 75 or 80.
So he's
gotta be.
he's still the spokesperson, huh?
Yeah, he's a legend. He's like Larry Bird in Indianapolis. It's the same kind of a deal. Where
Who's
he's
Larry Bird? No, I'm just kidding.
killing me. And you did the Magnificent Mile too, right?
Oh yeah.
And you tried on you I think wall chat you were talking about, you were trying on clothes. Did you let him, you took him shopping, I guess?
Something like that.
Yeah. See, she was getting her makeup done, and she didn't know that she was getting her makeup done.
You surprised her? Did you get a Groupon for makeup or
No, it
something?
wasn't
They
even
surprised
like
me.
that. Yeah, they surprised her. Like, she was going in to meet this person that she watches on YouTube a lot. Like she just they were doing a meet and greet up there. Okay, it's
These are new media things.
okay.
They took a trip to Chicago to meet a YouTube star?
Yes.
so
That's true.
she walks
Wow.
in there.
Who is it? All of a sudden this got interesting. The hell with Tim and his chairs race. Who's
Yeah.
the YouTube star?
Her name is Casey Holmes. Just a beauty vlogger.
She's
A
a
beauty
beauty
blogger.
blogger.
Beauty vlogger.
Okay, so we walk into Macy's and she goes over to the counter and they're like, "Oh, are you here for the event?" She's like, "Yeah." So they're like, "Okay, come back this way." And this lady seats her at a makeup booth, and Audrey's like, "What the hell?" So
Did they film it? Will it be on YouTube?
No, it will
Oh,
not be
no.
on YouTube.
So I'm like, all right, well, I forgot my sweatshirt in the car before the valet took it, so I'm gonna go buy a sweatshirt.
So Dakota goes looking for the Target and a $20 hoodie.
No, I go to the 8th floor of Macy's because that's where the only men's section is in this entire Macy's.
Oh, yeah.
So I walk up there and I'm like looking for a sweatshirt. I see one across the aisle, catches my eye, looks really nice. So I walk over there and I take it off the rack and put it on. I'm like, oh man, this is
going home with me.
I was like, this is incredibly soft.
Was it like $300?
It was $980. The outside was suede and it was lined with cashmere.
Yep.
It was amazing.
We have goats here.
But I bought these pants up there.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I didn't buy these pants up there. I lied. I bought different stuff up there. Not these pants. I bought these pants at TJ Maxx in Muncie.
I didn't want to say that. I thought those looked like Muncie pants.
Yeah, these are Muncie pants.
Well, fair enough. So you got to go to the big city and got a makeover. Did you learn anything?
No, I did not learn anything. Actually, it was really terrible.
No, she
really
texts
bad.
me, and I'm on the 8th floor, and she's on the ground floor, and she's like, "Come back now." I was like, "Oh man!" So I'm rushing down escalators, and I'm like stepping around people, and she's like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "At the Cologne." She walks over, and this lipstick was bad. It was horrible. This lady tried to draw on the outside of her lips, tried to make giant luscious lips on her, and drew them on her skin, and it looked horrid.
Were they just students trying to learn?
No, they were actually professionals. They get trained at a national level, and then they get sent there to do events. And I just was unlucky that day, I guess. Yeah, it was bad.
Maybe it was an episode of Punk'd.
I really hope
Did you
so.
leave too early?
She really did punk me.
Well,
That's
that's
fine.
brutal. Did you do anything else that was good in Chicago or not?
Just eat
Oh
pizza.
yeah, I mean,
So you went up
We walked
for the
around
for the
everything.
YouTube and some pizza and came home.
Yep, that is exactly what we did.
yeah, we just took a day trip.
Oh, you just went up and down.
Yeah,
in
we
one
didn't
day?
even stay.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you gotta at least stay.
yeah. I really wish we would have, because we got to the Lafayette Attica exit on 65, and I was dozing off on going 80 miles an hour down the highway, and I was like, this is not good.
Now, the trick I learned, and actually it was Mark Rutherford that taught me this trick. When you're leaving from Indianapolis and you're spending the day in Chicago, you don't stay in Chicago if you're coming back home the next day. You stay around Maryville,
Yep.
or so, just a little
Yeah.
bit outside of Chicago. You don't have to pay the high rates, and then as soon as you get up in the morning, you can just hit the road and
That makes a lot of
make
sense.
make your way down.
I've always thought Chicago is the place where I just want to abandon my car. I don't want to have to drive. I just want to go park my car in Dyer or somewhere and take the South Shore. And I did a camping trip with the 4-H kids one time, and we stayed at we actually stayed at Potato Creek in South Bend and took the South Shore all the way into the city and hung out in the city and came back. Much better way to deal with Chicago than to have to actually drive. I hate driving up there because you have to everywhere park costs money.
Yeah. Well, what you do is you park your car somewhere and then you just use city transit.
Yep.
It's got a great rail system, CTA system. It's great.
So welcome to the Libertarian Podcast, where we praise roads and
Public transportation.
and public transportation.
Well, you see, but public transportation works in
It makes
Chicago.
sense,
It makes
yeah.
sense. You can't do that here in Indianapolis or anywhere else in Indiana for that sake. We just don't have the density of people.
Newcastle Transport.
Yeah,
bus
we have
that
we have
drives
we have
around.
city buses here, Tim. We have a city bus here. You
Can you
call
believe that? You can ride your bike from one side of town to the other in 20 minutes. I do it every day for work.
Yeah.
And
you ride your bike for work?
I ride my bike to and from work, yes.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's great cardio, and it saves on gas.
You live a mile and a half from work.
I live 3.2 miles, so whenever I go to work in the morning, it's a good wake-up. It gets me all woken up and everything, so I don't actually kill somebody when
So
I'm
you can
working
stay
with high
woke?
voltage electricity. Yes, I'm staying woke. So then I ride to the gym. It's another mile and a half. And then I ride back to the house, and it's another 2.3 miles.
Okay, fair enough. I had no idea.
Now
See?
you know.
Now you know.
There's a good risk you're going to get hit, but whatever works for you, Dakota.
Hey, always wear your helmet, Jer.
Stay woke.
Yeah, only your head is what matters. That's the only risk you take. Rex, our friend Rex, he makes fun of the bike lanes we have in Newcastle now anyway, because we didn't add bike lanes like Indianapolis did. We just painted little guys on bikes with Chinese, like the helmets, the little triangle hats.
Well,
they look like Vietnamese people.
Indianapolis isn't exactly doing very great either, though. So it's in fact, some places Indianapolis has taken what used to be a 4-lane road, 2 in each direction, and they've turned it into a 2-lane road, which now traffic is just horrible. Yeah. Which maybe who knows? Maybe that's part of the plan, trying to get people to use their bikes more.
Ride your bike, I guess. All right. Well, that's the extent of the program time I guess we have today. Any final thoughts going around the room? We'll start with our guest Tim.
Yeah.
How do we get in touch with you? Follow you? Get more information.
Great question. Thank you. I would have forgotten that. So my name is Timothy McGuire. It's Maguire. If you go to Facebook, I'm Timothy J. McGuire on there. Stupidly enough, I did make my political Facebook page the same as my personal page. So you will find 2 Timothy J. McGuires on there. One of them, I have some headphones, like I'm on a podcast or a radio show. That's the one that you want to click on. I've put on my detailed plan up there, and you can reach out to me and ask me personal and detailed questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I again echo Jeremiah's comments. Please come down to the convention and vote for me so we can make libertarians great again.
Oh boy, here we go. Audrey Joe, any final thoughts, or do you just want to say pass?
I'll pass.
That's what we pay the big money for. Dakota.
I just want to again say, add me on Facebook. I'll probably have the same profile picture as I've been saying this entire time. I never change my profile picture, Jer. But anyway, it says that I'm the chairman of Henry County on there, so just look for that if you can't find me.
If it says "Rest in Peace Dodger" on there, it's my fault.
Yeah, it's Jeremiah's fault. Jeremiah has cursed my dog, and I will never forgive him for it. But stay woke. You can never watch too much Alex Jones, and have fun for the rest of the week.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. I want to thank the We Are Libertarians Network for syndicating whatever train wreck this show has turned into, the Boss Hog of Liberty, with Jeremiah Morrill and Dakota Davis, who doesn't make any of our artwork, and he's because he's an Alex Jones fan, we can't publicly promote him as a co-host, but we'll admit it here amongst the friends that he is truly a co-host. And I
paid $80 to be a co-host.
It's true. He did buy his way. He bought his way in. So it's official. He's the co-host. It means we're gonna get fired together one day. Is what's gonna happen.
That's right.
We're gonna
together till the end.
Together to the end. But this is 5 episodes in. There was another series on the Wall Network that doesn't exist anymore that only made it to 4 episodes. So as long as these get published, we're not last anymore.
Look at that.
We're like Donald Trump, who is now past President Harrison, who died after like 31 days in office. Trump is not going to be the shortest president.
That's right.
He's moved past him. He's getting to the 100-day mark. So we're not in last. We're not first. We're not in last. So all right. Well,
we're gonna keep going.
Well, yeah, but we're at the end of this episode. We're done.
Oh,
that's all I got, man.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You getting pretty tired?
I'm not tired.
You're looking pretty tired. What time do you have to get up for work tomorrow?
7.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. Yeah. You'll be at work before I'm even awake.
Yeah.
You'll be up at 3 a.m. nursing your dog back to health. And then, yeah. Anyway, we won't get into Dakota's problems. Every week we just pick on his dog. What's left of that? Just dig a big hole, man, and just call it good. All right. So follow me, Jeremiah Morrill, on Facebook. We appreciate the support, and we'll see where the next week takes us. See you all at the convention.
Thank you for listening to the We Are